Alright, hi everybody. SpawnCon 922. Now, I was just in the Taco Battle Dome. you guys go check that out later on, but I want to briefly state something. Now, I said this in the comment section. I apologize. I overrated that fairy tale chapter. Way too high. Way too high. I kind of was in the moment, I guess. You know, I don't know. Should have gave it a 4 out of 5, or dare I say a 3 out of 5. Now, I apologize to people with that, and to the people who are complaining, oh, no spoilers, you put a spoiler in the title. Hey, just to let you know, King of Lightning, yeah, he put a spoiler in the title. What the fuck? You don't see people complaining to him. Fuck him. Anyway, I just wanted to say that one thing because obviously I overrated it, and you know, it's stupid to overrate that. Even if it's just Minerva, it should only get a 4. So yeah, I just want to briefly talk about that. And as far as that chapter is concerned, I'm going to be in Joe 10's live stream later tonight, and I'll go in on that. So yeah, that too. Now, Kenichi. This one's getting a 4 out of 5. Speaking of ratings, this was completely Takeda Lugh. Completely. Nothing but Takeda and Lugh. And this one was called Devouring Each Other. Chapter 506. This one was kind of interesting. It was good. It's just, it was weird how it went about. Like, in the end of the chapter, Takeda noticed something about Lugh. And that's why he was able to, he's able to find something out. We don't know what he finds out, but he finds something out about Lugh's technique, or his technique, and it seems like he's going to turn it around next week. At least that's what it seems to me. But anyway, let's get to something. Takeda's saying, to Lugh, obviously, even though you both have the say, both of the say key, you're different from Kenichi. And, Lugh's saying that's right, that it has nothing to do with personalities. He has nothing to do with that. And you're right, well, now he's probably with Berserker. And this was a heated conversation. And Lugh was basically saying, the whole bit about being to advance as a martial artist means you have to devour, there's a possibility of devouring other fighters. That was the whole bit of the Yomi. They're going in there to devour them. It's like, give me a fucking break. I find it stupid because if you devour them, you know what's going to happen. Especially Atlantis. Oh, yeah, you're going to do that to Miyu? Here's Miyu's father. Boom! So that whole concept of devouring their opponents. And, Lugh then goes into detail saying, oh, the road you're taking, Takeda, eventually you become a master, so I will devour your future to become a master myself. More or less. And then he goes blow for blow. He actually does a hitting technique, Lugh. And he says that some hitting techniques, some joint techniques don't require a hold. So he's going for his joints, more or less, back and forth, back and forth. It was a pretty interesting fight, for Lugh. And he does his Ogata-style submission penetrating hit. And Takeda realizes it'll pop out at some point. His joints. And Lugh further goes into detail saying it is the difference of our resolve. I'm prepared to devour other people's futures. And he's saying that Takeda hasn't fully resolved himself to prepare to give up his own life. And then Blue's saying, now you fear my resolve, you know, so on and so forth. And then he says, I can't let a guy like you run loose in the world, and instead he'll devour him. And saying that, you know, he's a little small talk saying about he can't do complicated things like Kenichi because, you know, Lou mentions, oh, you're going to defeat me, you're going to beat me without killing me. You know, and what ends on happening is he goes right after him and he says, fascinating, you know, Lou, and Takeda runs away. And he runs away saying, oh, my master never told me how to use my head too much. So he decides to leave and go to a different room. He like runs, I guess, a kilometer away from him, trying to get a kilometer away from Lou. And he goes deeper into this room. The room he goes into is a mirror house. Okay. Yeah, not a really good idea. But I like how I like how they set this up. Because like I said, at the end of the chapter, there is a revelation from Takeda about, I don't know if it's a revelation, the thing I'm confused about is rather a revelation on Lou or it's a revelation on himself. So, you know, it's a mirror house and, you know, he's there and he says, oh, Lou's there and he says, what a troublesome place you have gone into. And he's trying to attack him, but it's a very disadvantage for Takeda. He has no idea where he'll be. And Lou keeps hitting him in his joints here and there and here and there. And then Takeda's saying, damn, am I going to die here? And at some point, Takeda's hair gets messed up and it's all over the place. Because it was an untie and now it's not. And then Lou then further goes into details that there are about 260 joints in the human body. Aside from joints, he's also could damage bones and connective tissue. And then he further goes into detail. Takeda's saying that how he's never going to be able to master that anti-weaponry skill Master Shiba wanted to teach him. And then Lou dislocates his left leg, and then he goes. While this is happening, Takeda's thinking about Miyu. And while he's thinking about this, he's also saying maybe I would have confessed to Honey. Say. And then Lou then keeps going on and on, saying, oh, well, she's fighting Atlantis and she'll probably be defeated. And I'm like, fuck off, Lou. Fuck off. And saying that she was the first one to learn Ki. And then Takeda says that's right, and further he's thinking about that he couldn't do anything for her the last time she was taken. And that's when something weird happens. Takeda, after saying that, is looking on the floor. And he sees all the shattered glass pieces. And at first, I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? And he just looks at them. And then after that, he says, that strike just now. And then we see Lou behind him saying, the last shadow boxing of your life, perhaps? And then at the side, it says, those eyes haven't died yet. In the face of death, what does Takeda notice? And that's where the chapter ends. So, more or less, I think what happened. Because that was a major point of the chapter. That point was huge. I think, the ending. The ending really sold it. Which is the reason I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Because whatever this technique was that Takeda used, supposedly, that technique could help him defeat Lou. But he doesn't know what it is. But he figures something out, obviously. He figured out something to use against Liu to defeat him. And that's more or less what happened. Overall, I thought this was, like I said, a good chapter. And, you know, it seemed like it was a disadvantage by going into that mirror house for Takeda going in there. But it seemed like by doing that, he was able to find this one technique that he could use against Liu. Whatever the technique was. I mean, I think it's some kind of shadow boxing. And I'm not 100% sure on this. It might be some kind of shadow boxing, I think. You know, like, it's like a phantom fist. Give or take. Yeah, so. Something along those lines. But like I said, overall, good chapter. I liked the fact that even though Takeda went into a mirror house and it's a disadvantage for him, he was able to find something that he could... This technique, I think he found something in this mirror house he could use to defeat Liu to some extent. Now, before I end this video, I want to mention one thing. Tuesday, even though Monday I have my training for my job, Tuesday, not fairy tale, not a fairy tale discussion. Well, actually, I want to try to do a fairy tale discussion, but seeing as how I'm going to Joe Ten's live stream later tonight, I'll talk about it in there. Tuesday, Medica Box. Seeing as how I'm reviewing the chapters, I figured I'd talk a little bit about that on Tuesday, but I'll just invite subs. I'll try to invite people. If people want to talk about Medica Box, I will invite them to talk about Medica Box. And leave out the people who don't want to talk about it. So, that's how I'm going to do it for Tuesday. If I get into a live stream on Tuesday. So, we'll see. But overall, that's what I got for you guys. So, yeah, good chapter of Kenichi. 4 out of 5. I thought, you know, it was kind of one of those things. The resolve of Takeda going against, you know, devouring that whole thing. And now it seemed like even though he's against the ropes, it looks like he could turn it around next week. We shall see. We shall see. I have no idea when this is all going to end. Between everybody. It's going to be a while. It's probably going to be a while. So, yeah. We'll see. Anyway, this is Bonkai922. See you guys later. One more review before I pack it up. Not for Friday. You know. Yusha. So, yeah. I will see you guys later. And Takeda, he's got something up his sleeve.